You guys don't mind. Anybody got a missing child? Please, it's really concerning that nobody's here for this little boy. Please, anybody?
I can't see it.
No, nothing bad against the police. Everybody, free Palestine for mob! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! I'm shaking. Alright, we're going to get on with it because I'm conscious of time. So we've got in total about 8 speakers. Now my phone is not with me. Any of the speakers, please come to the front. I'm going to introduce you. I've got the notes on my phone. I'm not very organised. I do apologise. We're going to start off with Mustafa. Mustafa's going to say a little something. He's been so awesome on the marches, everybody. I'm conscious we can't see everybody because you're on either side. So I'll face this way. But then I've got people behind me. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure where to direct you. Yeah, mate. Well, we've got Christmas stores down there. Yeah. No, it's fine. You know what? We'll take turns. So I'll let Mustafa face this way, and then we'll just swap around. So Mustafa, you gonna go ahead?
My name is Mustafa. I am 8 years old. On the behalf of many children in the UK, I would like to say to the children of Gaza, please don't lose hope. We feel your pain. We feel your fear. We feel your hunger. We feel your pain. We feel your fear. And we feel your hunger. We keep thinking of you. You are always in our mind. We will continue to call the world to save you, feed you, treat you, to give you safe water and clean house, to build your houses, to send you to safe schools where you can learn and build your future, to give you toys to play and entertain like other children of the world. We really believe that you deserve a better life. I want everyone to repeat after me. Please, children of Gaza, don't lose hope. We are here to say, stop bombing schools. Stop bombing children.
Ceasefire now! 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 Guys, before I introduce the next speaker, I had a speaker with me. Anybody who's got that speaker, please can you bring it to me because it's not mine. Oh, it's right next to me, sorry. Please make sure that Is this causing a problem for anybody? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, yeah? Sorry, I'll just use the one. I'll use the one. Thank you. Right, next we've got Dr. Mariam. The little boy that you just heard, Dr. Mariam, is his mother. About 3 weeks ago, was it 4 weeks ago? I heard him chatting in the back when I was giving a speech, and bless him, he's come so far. He's a little lion for this cause, and he's going to grow up to be an even stronger lion. I'm going to give it to Dr. Mariam. Dr. Mariam's a lecturer at the University of Leeds. She studies and understands about the context internationally about public health. I'm going to let her introduce herself because I lost my phone's at home. I'm not very organised. Let her take it away.
Thank you everyone for coming and continue to come in solidarity of people in Palestine. Please keep it up because people in Palestine are taking their hope from our numbers. They keep looking at us. That's give them a lot of support. Even if we don't see the immediate ceasefire now, we are here to give them direct message. We stand with you, Palestinian people. My name is Dr. Mariam Fadl. I am Arabic British medical doctor who work in humanitarian setting. And I can really understand the feeling of medical doctors and healthcare workers who work under this horrible situation. However, I should say, I always felt safe because we are always felt health facilities are protected by international law. But that's not the case in Gaza. So we are really feeling they are doing great job, those healthcare workers in Gaza. And I also work in global health. And in global health society, every year we announce International Day of a specific theme. And that theme, or that day, to celebrate the word achievement in that particular theme. Today is the 15th of December. Is it the 16th of December? You know what? Last Sunday, the 10th of December, was the International Day of Human Rights. And there is no right in Palestine. Shame on the world! Last Tuesday, the 12th of December, was the International Day of Universal Health Coverage. And universal health coverage means everybody has affordable, accessible health services, regardless of their age, gender, ethnicity, and where they live in this world. But there is no access to health services to people in Gaza. It's a shame. This is shame. And let's put it in number. Today I'm going to tell you just the update about the health situation in Gaza. Every 1 hour, there is 11 people killed in Gaza. 70% of them are children and women. There is no human right based on these numbers. we lose 6 people, there will be a point where people in Gaza will have nobody to serve them. And that seems to be a plan at the moment by holding the ceasefire. It's really heartbreaking for everyone who has values. It's really heartbreaking for everyone who believes in equity. It's really heartbreaking for everyone who is just human. That's not the end of the story, because every day there is one journalist killed in Gaza. The last one was killed last night. They have left him to bleed for 6 hours. His life could have been saved, but there was no ambulance to carry him to where the hospital is. Also, every 1 hour, there are 5 people missed in Gaza, which means their whole family don't know whether they are alive or they have died under the rubble. There are 5 people injured or wounded in Gaza every 10 minutes. This is really beyond what anyone could understand and able to believe. Every day there are 2 health facilities get completely out of service. 2 ambulances every day completely broken and destroyed. Every 10 minutes there is 1 school out of service, which means children who survive the bombardment will not be able to learn until those schools are rebuilt again. Every 2 hours, as we said last night, every 2 hours, there is 1 child losing a hand or a leg. This is really horrible in areas where the bombardment is still taking place, which is now every place in Gaza. But for those who survive and manage to go to internally displaced camp that is served by However, we are saying to the people of Gaza, similar to what Mustafa and many children in this country say, we will never lose hope. We are here to call for a ceasefire, and we say, by the name of humanity, ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! By the name of human rights, we call for ceasefire now! By the name of equity, we call for ceasefire now! By the name of any value this humanity have ever believed in, we call for ceasefire now! 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 Free! 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 From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! 1, 2, 3, 4! 5, 6, 7,
8! It's so important to remember the whole public health catastrophe, because ultimately what's going to happen is there's going to be a big situation where people will be susceptible to diseases, to hepatitis A. There'll be no treatment for them, so it's always important to bear that in mind. Next I've got Saoirse, and she's going to do a few chants of her own.
Free! 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 From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! 1, 2, 3, 4! 5, 6, 7, 8! 1, 2, 3, 4! 5, 6, 7, 8! What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry? Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry? Free, free! Free, free!
Hi everyone, I'm Jack from the Socialist Worker Student Society. I continue to be amazed at the turnout that we get week on week, whether it's a couple of weeks ago when everyone was freezing their fingers off, stood in the cold, or days like today as it gets towards Christmas time. You know, most of the students have gone home from universities, and yet still we're getting thousands of people on the streets of Leeds every single week. And I want to talk a little bit about what students in the city have done this term and what we have planned for next year. We helped to organise walkouts at Leeds University, and Beckett University have joined in there as well. And in its peak we had 300 students on the march from colleges and universities across Leeds. Lecturers joined us too, and we occupied a building to say we will not let there be peace in our city while Palestine is not free. A couple of weeks ago I spoke at one of these demos, and I asked the lecturers and educators of Leeds to join us in activity, and I'm very pleased to say that we had an activist meeting last week with representatives from the University and College Union, and they are joining us next term in organising action. This movement continues to go from strength to strength, and we're in this for the long haul. Now, people at these demos have spoken a lot about the endless tide of misinformation that comes from the Israeli state and its army. And the answer to misinformation is education. And that means going even further with the brave reporting that goes on, talking about what's happening right now. It means engaging people in this conversation and talking about the history of the region. Because we know that this did not start on October the 7th. This has gone on for 75 years. For 75 years, the Palestinian people have stood against a tyrannical regime that tries to enact a genocide. And we need to teach people about this. So next term we'll be holding teach-ins at our universities and colleges where we will educate people about this. And who better to run those workshops than our educators who join us on these demos week on week. So we will be arranging that with them. The boycott movement had a major victory this week when Puma finally dropped its sponsorship of the Israeli football team. Local shops in our city are refusing to stock Coke and Pepsi products. And this campaign continues to grow. Next term we will go further than walking out of our universities. We will picket the businesses that still support this genocidal regime. It is more important than ever that we keep stepping up our action, that we continue to grow the largest possible movement and be as confident, as bold and as possible. I know that people saw disgusting comments from the Israeli ambassador this week, where she made clear that Israel's plan is not to have a ceasefire in the next few weeks. Their plan is to continue their genocide to its completion, to eradicate Palestine from the earth. Their vision is for a state of Israel that drowns in the blood of Palestinians. And will we let that happen? My dream is for a single state of Palestine. A free, liberated state where people of any faith can stay with full right of return for any Palestinian that has been displaced. They are right that two-state solution is dead, but we are the future of that single state of Palestine. Now, to call for a single state of free Palestine, some people will call us terrorists. Well, Nelson Mandela was called a terrorist when he fought against apartheid in South Africa. Ho Chi Minh was called a criminal for fighting America to try and liberate Vietnam. And Malcolm X in America was demonized for fighting racism over there. And do you know what links these three people? All of them called for a free Palestine too, because they knew that to fight apartheid, imperialism or racism, you have to fight them wherever they occur. You don't choose your battles depending on whether the ruling class of the media are kind to you. They knew that nobody is free until Palestine is free. So we should be proud to be part of that tradition. The people who stood up and were counted, people who answered oppression with liberation, and people who fought division with unity, and people who stood up against violent regimes with solidarity and strength. Thank you. Free, free! Free, free!
From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. I'm gonna give a shout out to Malcolm X. I do this almost every week. I normally read it, I can't remember the exact quote, but we'll try it anyway, we'll try and wing it. So if you can repeat after me. We declare the right of all Palestinians to be human beings, to be treated as human beings, to be respected as human beings. In this life, in this world, on this day, which we all intend to bring into existence, by any means necessary. I'm going to introduce Fatima. She's going to do a few chants. I think she's a bit shy, bless her, but go for it. Sorry, she's got a poem. I do it. She's got a poem.
Palestine will be free, although they are hurt, living in despair, eager for the bombing to stop, still they are waiting. Tick-tock goes time in our country, no one even cares, except for the Palestinian supporters who love them with their hearts, who want them to be free. Allah will help them because they have faith, and then then one day everyone will see Palestine will be free.
Everybody, one more time for Fatima. We've got John Pontis, and we've got a really powerful voice here, so please people, just be mindful as well, today's football day, so if you hooligans trying to give it some, just ignore them, they're not worth the breath to be honest. So John Pontis, I'm going to let him introduce himself, I think that's the best way because I forgot the phone, so John, go for it.
Thank you very much, Ephraim. Palestine, 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 Palestine. Right, my name is John Hodges. I used to work as a doctor. All together! Campaign for a health service that provides universal access to healthcare based on the founding principles of the NHS. And I'm also here representing Doctors in Unite, which is the medical section in Unite the Union. Now, I think that we are all appalled by the situation that we see in Gaza. Anyone who has any ounce of feeling would be absolutely outraged. The death of one child, for me, is a tragedy. For all of us, the death of one child is a tragedy. Now it's around probably 10,000 children who have died. And this is absolutely unacceptable. Winter is now coming. 1.8 million people have been displaced. They were told if they went to the south it would be safe. What did they find? That the Israeli military bombed them and shelled them there. How ridiculous, giving them a grid of southern Gaza when there's no internet, people don't have charged phones, and telling them that's how you find you can go to a safe place. Of course, there are now many additional problems. Starvation for one, because of lack of food. You've heard there's no fresh water. There's no way to dispose of sewage. There's already a big increase in gastrointestinal infections. It would be no surprise whatsoever if cholera does not appear before too long. Because people can't wash and clean their clothes, there's a huge increase in things like scabies, also hepatitis A, lots of infectious diseases. And our press, they keep saying the health service is under strain in Gaza. The health service in Gaza is utterly destroyed as a deliberate policy of the Israeli government. We've seen that time and time again, shelling hospitals, shelling health centres, destroying them, and then making up justifications. What's happened to the command and control centre of Hamas under al-Shifa? That's gone very silent. We haven't heard about that, but that was their justification. We haven't been shown the evidence. And I can tell you, and I've said this before at demonstrations, if you go to Leeds Infirmary, you'll find an underground tunnel going between the old infirmary and the newer parts of the building, and that's been there years. And the Israelis know there are tunnels under al-Shifa because they built them, so they know them. This deliberate targeting of medical facilities is, amongst many other acts of the Israelis, a war crime. There are no hospitals fully functioning. They've run out of drugs, they've run out of anesthetics, and it's absolutely terrible to see the numbers of injured people there that can't really be given proper medical attention. There's even stories, as you will have heard, of ambulance crew trying to ferry badly injured people to hospital, being stopped and beaten by the Israelis for hours until the patient in the ambulance died. As far as Keeper NHS's public is concerned, we stand with the Palestinian people. we call upon national and international leaders to demand an immediate halt to the killing and destruction on both sides. I think all hostages should be released, but bear in mind, since the 7th of October, the Israelis have arrested 4,400 Palestinians and detained them, half of them without even bothering to charge them with anything. Let them go, indeed. Let them go. Let them go. Being Palestinian, it seems, is crime enough. There can be no peace without justice, and no justice without a ceasefire now. And people around the world are standing up for Palestine. Far from being a demonstration, as Robert Jenrick would have it, that these demonstrations are a sign that multiculturalism has failed, it's the opposite. We're all standing here together, shoulder by shoulder. And with people, as I've said, in other towns and cities around this country and across the world, and even in the United States, where there's a large opposition to the government policies. Unfortunately, for many Western leaders, financial interests trump humanitarian considerations. They have warm words for the suffering of the Palestinian people, but they continue at the same time to arm Israel and encourage it to carry on with its international law breaking. Now, I just want to finish by, I'm actually going to sing you a short carol. Some of you will have heard this on the web. Of course, Christmas is a time traditionally for some people where they sing carols. There won't be Christmas in Bethlehem this year, but someone has rewritten the words to Away in a Manger in a very powerful way. So let me just finish by singing those for you. And it's called Away in Bomb Shelters. Some of you may have seen this. It was written by Martin Kerr. Away in bomb shelters, concrete for a bed, the little lost children lay down their sweet heads. The drones in the dark sky look down where they lay, while they pray to the angels to fly them away. The mothers are crying, the babies awake, the building is rocking, the whole city shakes. Bless all the dear children who are living through hell, but the Lockheed and Boeing shares are doing so well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Everybody, round of applause for John. Thank you so much, John. That rerun of Lord of the song, that I can't remember the name of the song, but it was so powerful, I thought. Next we've got Jawad, a history student from Leeds University. He's going to talk about some of the historical injustices of Israel.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Jawad. Before I start, I do want to say, I got asked about the straw hat a couple times. I just want to clarify, the straw hat, it's from a character from a show, and in that show he's called the Warrior of Liberation, and he frees those who are oppressed, and that resonates with me because I want the liberation of Palestine, the freedom of the oppressed, so I carry that with me as a symbol against oppression and against apartheid. But I'm not going to sit here and talk about my favourite show for the past 20 minutes because we wouldn't leave at that point. But what I'm going to talk to you about is history, and I'm going to do the common historical practice to draw parallels of tragedies to show you just exactly how bad that the situation in Gaza is. The Law of Return 1950 states, it allows all Jewish people around the world to become citizens as well as their descendants. But no law exists like that for the Palestinians with millions of refugees many born as refugees unable to return to their homes. Reich citizenship, passed in Germany in 1935 as one of the Nuremberg laws, defined who was considered a citizen of the Reich and who wasn't. Those of German blood, or like that of German blood, were eligible for citizenship, while Jews were stripped of their citizenship and lost political rights. Do you see the similarities? Israeli citizenship law, 2003. It denies Palestinians who are married to Israelis to be in Israel if they originate from the West Bank or Gaza. Said by Israeli academics, the law ensures Israel's security and maintains its Jewish character, with Simcha Rossman of a far-right Zionist party saying that the state of Israel is Jewish and so it will remain. Interior Minister Ayelet Shaked saying today, God willing, Israel's defensive shield will be significantly strengthened. He's talking about Palestinians whose only crime was love and marriage. Law of Protection for German Blood and Honor, 1935. It prohibits marriages or sexual relations between Jews and Germans, not wanting racial pollution in Germany to make sure the Aryan regime remained Aryan, establishing a criteria of Jewishness and Jewish origin to say they were not allowed to engage with German citizens. Love and marriage was a crime. Do you see the similarities? And when it comes to apartheid, we don't even need to look at that. We've seen South Africa. Even former Israeli intelligence Mossad chief Tamir Pardo had even said that there is apartheid. And for anyone who wishes to question my sources, I got this from what's it called again? The Jerusalem Post and the Times of Israel, two Israeli media outlets, and Adala, the legal center for Arab minority rights in Israel. So if Zionists want to question me, shut up, because these are your sources. What about genocide? Alright, let's talk violence then. You've seen the pictures of Palestinian men stripped naked and marched with hundreds put into ditches, large mass graves being built as they're filmed and recorded. This is not any different to the Armenian genocide, when Ottoman forces stripped Armenians bare and forced them to march through deserts until they died and then dug graves for them. Or what about when the Serbian forces besieged Sarajevo, sniped and killed everyone? I saw a video last week of a beautiful old Israeli woman, said she was older than Israel itself, as she laughed and joked with the cameraman and jokingly flirted with her. Her name was Hadiya Nassar. Israel sniped her right here, right between the eyes. We can't forget when the Serbians engaged in ethnic cleansing. Palestinians have been going through that since 1948. What about this week in Shadir Abu Ghazala Hospital, where they gathered every man, every woman, every child, and gunned them down. Babies, the elderly, the sick, riddled with bullet holes. No sign of shelling, no sign of bombs. They were left there to die in the hospitals.
Right, Neil.
And that's exactly what the Tutsis, that's exactly what the Hutus did, the Tutsis, in the Rwandan genocide. Following Indian officers in occupied Kashmir, rape and torture prisoners and sexually assault women. We don't even need written proof. If we look at Palestine, we've seen the treatment of the Palestinian hostages. When we saw Ahed Tamimi cry and come out of prison as she sobbed about the torture, the brutalization of prisoners. We've seen how human rights organizations spoke of the rape of Palestinian boys and girls in Israeli prisons. Many of whom only committed the single crime of throwing stones at a tank. Like the Chinese government does now in the ongoing genocide of the Uyghur Muslims, the Israeli government wipes out Palestinian land, culture and heritage. Like the ongoing genocide in Congo today, where the Western world and the Israeli regime do not care how many people they kill in Palestine to get to their natural resources. It says every genocide, past and present, mixed into it. And if I could, I'd stand here for days reciting the dead, the names of everyone who's died, because they deserve to be acknowledged, they deserve to be recognized. They're not numbers, they're people. They had dreams, they had lives, they had hopes. I remember last week, when Dr. William Fudel gave a speech and talked about how young Palestinian boys who want to play football will never have that chance because they'll have their legs amputated. I want to give every single one their names, but I can't. Because I know if any one of us tried, we'd break down before we could. So I'll give it just a few of them. Shaking his hand, we saw on video telling a man not to cry. We all chased martyrdom, who cried as children who were martyred, killed by Israel this week in airstrikes. Samir Abu Takar, Al Jazeera journalist and cameraman, martyred this week, killed by Israel as they executed him, and refused to allow aid and ambulances to get to him for survival. And none of us can forget Reem, soul of my soul, granddaughter of Khaled Abdurrahman, who he held in his arms, not believing she was dead, for a good few hours, styled the hair of her corpse into pigtails, because it was the hairstyle that she loved. These guys have never lost a single bit of hope, not once. And I'm glad to see so many of us here today, because we are the only bridge connecting Palestine to the rest of the world. Right now they've lost connection. Many of the reporters that we follow, journalists, they're getting injured, they're getting hurt, they're dying even. This is not what Zionists think they can say it is. This is genocide through and through. I have the facts on my phone to prove it. I can bring sources upon days. It's my course, for God's sake. If you want to come out before this, try it. This is genocide. This is apartheid. And this is an occupation. For 75 long years they've gone through this. We're not going to stop until we see Palestine. So I will say one thing, and one thing only. Do not let a ceasefire be the only thing we aim for. Do not stop at that point. We need to go further. We need to go past that. We end the occupation. We end the apartheid. And we free Palestine until nothing else can harm them anymore. I want to say this one more final thing before my voice actually gives out. We won't lose. Neither will the Palestinians. Because if you could look at the smile of a Palestinian person, it could light up the whole world, but the world never sees it. They never look at it. These are people of beauty and pride. So if they haven't given up, if they haven't lost, then we need to hold on to them. Let my words, the words of Jack who just spoke, the words of Dr. Mariam Fudel, let them make a rope to hold on to the Palestinians. And let that rope burn your hands. Let it anger you. Let it make you a fire of rage. Because we direct that to liberate Palestinian people. So, like the character I spoke of earlier, a warrior of liberation, a beacon and a hope to the oppressors. No, a hope to the oppressed. I mean, sorry, I'm honestly speaking off my mind here. We'll be a hope to the oppressed. We'll be their warriors of liberation. And we'll free them. And I want all of us, because I believe, and we want the Palestine will be free that generation. In our lifetime, we will see it. And I can't wait to see every single one of you there flying to Palestine to celebrate with our brothers and sisters as they're free. Thank you.